You are welcome to Africa Uncovered YouTube channel. My name is DJ, and today, unlike any other day, we're going to be discussing the opposition of Uganda. We're going to be discussing Bobi Wine, and we're asking ourselves, is Bobi Wine still politically strong? Yes. Our question today, or what we're going to be discussing, is Bobi Wine still politically strong? But we're also going to look at the incident that happened when Bobi Wine had gone to visit his lawyer and there was an allegation that he was shot. Yes, we're calling it an allegation because we haven't really gotten a full report of what transpired. So we're still calling it an allegation of shooting. So those are the two things that we're going to be discussing, and there is a way one feeds into the other. So we're looking at, is Bobi Wine still politically strong vis-a-vis the incident of the shooting and who benefits from it? Was it indeed true that he was shot at? Okay, that is what we're going to be discussing today, and that's how we roll. The precursor, or the times that led to the 2021 elections in Uganda, were one of the most scaring and heated moments in the country that we've at least witnessed at the people of the 21st century. That was the heated moment of politics in Uganda that saw so many people get into problems, others languishing in prison, and so many incidents happened. And one of the strongest people that emerged out of that election, or even the incident before, was none other than Bobi Wine, who is currently the leader of the NUP, or you can call it the National Unity Platform Party in Uganda. Now, Bobi Wine emerged out of nowhere and took the storm of politics in Uganda to another level. He, after having been, after having served as the Member of Parliament for Chadondo East, managed to somehow come up with a party by, purchasing it from one of the holders before, and then he was able to register and become a presidential candidate, which made him come second. After going through the processes and the election and everything, he came second after having a mammoth crowd, a mammoth fan base of youths most especially. He was a darling of the youths, but most importantly, people who are on socials. He was so much supported by people in the diaspora through social media. And there is a way this scenario switched on Ugandans to take important social media as much as it would be. People started recognizing social media as a platform that can elevate you, as a platform that can give you mileage, especially in politics, and people started taking it serious. Now, Bobi Wine is one of the Ugandans, one of the few politicians in Uganda that have a huge following on social media. And the challenge with social media people, there are people that will support you and show you support all the time that you need it, but that support cannot be translated into votes because so many of them are in diaspora, and a few who are here cannot really galvanize to give you the fan base that you probably have on social media and translate it into actual voting. So that is one of the reasons why we saw Bobi Wine coming second, besides having the largest following on social media. I hope that is understandable. Now, because that scenario, that instance of huge following on social media opened the eyes of other politicians in Uganda, we saw so many people taking social media very serious. And among them is none other than General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. His team, Team Muhoozi, and so many other, franchises of his followers took on social media and somehow provided competition for people that were supporting Bobi Wine. So there was some sort of a balance. It was no longer one-sided, that it was only NUP or Bobi Wine that has a strong following on social media. Other people like Team Muhoozi and people that paid or pay allegiance to General Muhoozi Kainerugaba also took the storm on social media. And the difference here is that the people that follow General Muhoozi Kainerugaba are more of elite, even if they are youths, yes, but elite youths than the followers of Bobi Wine, who are largely, people I am not trying to put them down, but people that are more of insulting bracket than elite bracket that we see on social media following General Mosga in Uganda. So it created some sort of competition on social media, and the space that the team of Bobi Wine was enjoying shrinked a little bit. It was no longer as mammoth, as huge, as open-spaced as it was before other people came to appreciate the use of social media. So after the elections, where he emerged second, also was able to get a sizable number of MPs in parliament, his political stardom kind of reduced, okay? Where people used to see him as such a very big politician, somehow his space shrinked on social media, not only on social media, but on ground. The following kind of reduced. People who were, dying to see him, people who were following him like crazy, kind of started shrinking. And this was brought about by a number of factors. One, the government really had started using a strong hand on them. And also people kind of started thinking the other way around. What if we are doing wrong? What if we're not following the right person? This is a personal opinion, by the way. It might not be the right case, but it's a personal opinion. So the following that he was enjoying kind of shrinked, both on social media, but also on ground. And the government also started, not minding him so much. And that takes me to the other point where we have seen Bobi Wine traversing the country for the first time without any disruptions. You remember that the incident before elections where Bobi Wine would literally be arrested at least, 3 times a week. This time around, he has done literally a national consultation. He's been traversing the entire country, and most of his rallies have gone undisrupted. Should we say that this time around the police is not seeing him? No, they are seeing him. They have the audacity, they have the muscle to probably control him, but it is either intentional not to mind him, or they don't find it, or they don't find him no longer viable. And that is dangerous for a politician. If you are a politician, one of the things that works for you is when your rallies or when you're disrupted in the way you're doing your things. But if the police, in this case, the security organs, stop minding you and they freely allow you to do whatever you want to do, then it is not working for you. Because when you're arrested, when you're harassed, when you're stopped from, carrying out your rallies, that's when you attract attention of media and the international community. So you realize that all the rallies or the consultations that he's been carrying out nationwide have most largely gone uninterrupted, and that does not work for him. So in one way or the other, even before the incident that we saw on Tuesday, there was need for him and his team to sit and strategize the way they can bring him back to the papers, back to the limelight, back to the spotlight. It was reported on Tuesday that Bobi Wine, while returning from a visit of his lawyer, he was allegedly shot. At first, the reports that were coming from his team were that he was shot. But after being taken to the hospital, in this case Nsambya Hospital, the leader of opposition in Senyonyi came out while addressing the press, appearing on TV, on one of the TVs, and said that he was actually hit by a canister that was thrown at him by the police, and fragments of the canister were found in his leg, which was actually shattered. That is the report, that his leg was shattered. But from what we saw, if you happen to have seen the pictures and probably seen the video, there was actually, you could at one point side with someone saying that he was shot, because when you're shot, the entry of the bullet is very small, and then probably the point where it gets out is what is really wide. But you could see that it was more of a bullet wound than the shattering by a canister, which was being said. However, when it turns out through the report of the leader of opposition, then we want to go by that report that he was hit by a canister. But from what we would see, it seemed different. Now, there were like two things. You could say, if it's a canister, then a canister could have exploded from a distance and then a fragment hit him, because it was really, really a small kind of hole and a little bit of blood, not the shattering that we were having in media. But all that in this scenario, I want us to look at it in this way. Could this have been a blessing in disguise for Bobi Wine to return into spotlight? I'm not trying to refute that it didn't happen. It probably happened, whether it was a canister or whatever happened. I don't want to refute it. But could it be a blessing in disguise? Why? Because the space that he was enjoying on social media had started shrinking to an extent that people were not minding him. Whether he goes for a rally and probably pulls crowds, mammoth crowds, or whether he goes and gets few people, people are not minding him, let alone the security organs. Now, the fact that this incident has happened, it can, if used well, it can be a catalyst to return him to the spotlight that he once enjoyed. If not even before this very incident, there was need for him to sit with his team and strategize on the ways that he could return into the spotlight. Otherwise, he was disappearing in sheer space. Because Bobi Wine's politics has been so much played on social media, ensuring that he has a team of people that abuse, which has really, really enjoyed, but also the international platform that would use social media. Now, if that space had started shrinking by the introduction of other strong candidates on the same space, then there was need to strategize and find other ways of how people could feed him, if we may say, again. So this shooting incident, whether it was a canister or whatever hit him, could as well be a catalyst, could as well be a blessing in disguise for him to return onto our lips, onto people's lips, to talk about him. Otherwise, he was starting to become irrelevant. And in politics, when you're a politician who has been in the spotlight and you start becoming irrelevant, then you are as good as not there. His leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, had started to steal the show from him in quotes. Because we remember at one point, Joel Senyonyi was the talk of the UK Parliament. They were praising him, giving him flowers of how he is handling politics in the opposition. Now, when you are the leader of a party within which the leader of opposition is being praised, then you have to be scared. So there was need for Bobi Wine to return to people's lips and be talked about, and papers write about him so that he could galvanize what we was starting to lose, which is media space, which is attention on social media. I don't know if you guys understand me. The incident of being shot or the canister, whatever hitting him is really bad. But it could be a blessing in disguise for him to return onto people's lips. Otherwise, he was losing the space that he had enjoyed for a long period of time. He was losing that gist that he had at one point, which is dangerous for a politician. If you're a politician, you want people to be talking about you all the time, regardless. At one point in journalism, we say that bad news is good news because you want to be talked about. You want to make sure that you stay in the spotlight, which Mr. Bobi Wine Kyagulanyi Ssentamu was losing at a very terrible speed. So this is going to take us to the question that we started with. Do you still think that Bobi Wine is politically strong? Or he has to do something really dramatic, like the way we have seen the incident of the shooting or whatever it was? Can it be used as a catalyst to return him into the spotlight? Or you believe he's still strong, therefore he can go at that pace and outsmart or and oust president when we come to 2026 general election? Do you still think that he is politically strong, really? That's what I thought we would discuss today on Africa Uncovered YouTube channel. My name is DJ. If you feel or think that whatever we've discussed carries some water, please subscribe to this channel, share, like, and comment. Hit that bell button so that you can always be reminded whenever we put a new video. Otherwise, from me to you, I'm TJ. Adios.